Let's learn volleyball. What is volleyball? Volleyball game is a team sport in which played by two teams, usually of 6 players on a side, in which the players use their hands to bat a ball back and forth over the high net, trying to make the ball touch the court with the opponent's playing area before it can be returned. History of volleyball. In the year 1895, William Morgan invented the game volleyball. Morgan called the sport mintonet until a professor from Springfield College in Massachusetts noted the volleying nature of play and proposed the name of volleyball. Volleyball was invented in Massachusetts in 1895. Volleyball had humble beginnings, created by a teacher to be a unique and challenging game for his students. Now, it is an Olympic sport played and watched by millions of people, inspiring fitness, skills, and teamwork. It remained solely an American sport for a few years until it began crossing to ocean to become one of the most exciting and popular sports played worldwide. The ball and the net in the history of volleyball. Morgan liked the idea of the net, like the one used in tennis, but rose it to 6 feet 6 inches above the floor. The game required something larger than a tennis ball but lighter than a basketball. This game was a light leather covered ball that could easily be buoyed above the net. The net was spectacular fit for the game, which was to keep the ball in movement back and forth between teams. Now, rules were made, the name was changed, and a wonderful new sport was born. Now this is an example of volleyball court dimension. And this one is a volleyball net dimension. Let's talk about a volleyball measurement. This ball measured 65 to 67 centimeters in circumference. Weight 1.2 to 9.9 ounce or 260 to 280 grams. The internal pressure is about 4.3 psi or 0.30 kgf per centimeter square. Two kinds of volleyball. Team volleyball. It is played indoors on a hard court with 6 people per team, while beach volleyball, it is played outdoors on the sand with 2 players per team. This is an example of beach volleyball and a team volleyball. Playing positions in volleyball. Outer hitter. The player who carries the serve receives responsibility along with the libero. They play both the front and back row. Right side hitter plays the front and back row and are carrying pass, attack, block, serve, and defense responsibilities. Opposite hitter, player who most often scores the most points in the team. They don't have the passing responsibilities. Setter. They are playmaker, point guard, or the quarterback of the volleyball team. A setter's responsibility is to run the team offense and build up the offensive scoring opportunities for the team. Middle blocker. The main responsibility is to stop the opponent's offense. They build a block which stops the ball or allows the team to dig the ball up. Libero. Fairly new position on volleyball. They are the back row specialist who is allowed to play backcourt only, not allowed to serve the ball. Volleyball playing positions. Types of serve in volleyball. Underhand serve, used mainly in recreational volleyball. It does not require the level of skills or coordination that the other types of service do. Overhand serve. It is the most common, and the two main overhand or overhead serves are the top spin and the float. Floater, serves that does not spin. It is called a floater because it moves in unpredictable ways. Make it difficult to pass. They catches the air and can move unexpectedly to the right or to the left, or it can drop suddenly. Topspin. A topspin serve does exactly that, spins rapidly forward from the top. This serve has a much more predictable movement than a floater, but can be difficult to handle because of its quick speed and difficult to pass because it drops rapidly. Jump serve, more advanced and utilize an even higher toss that should be several feet in front of line server. They uses more attack approach, jumping and striking the ball with the heel of the hand while in air. Skills in playing volleyball. Passing. It is simply getting the ball to someone else on the team after it's been served or hit over the net by the opposing team. It is commonly thought of as the most important skills in all of volleyball because the team can't return the ball without a solid volleyball pass. Setting. The setter has the most important position on the team, and it's often the team leader. It's their job to make it easy for the teammate to get the ball over the volleyball net, preferably with a spike that the other team cannot return. The setting motion gets the ball hanging in the air, ready to be spiked with another teammate with force. Spiking. Spiking is the act of slamming the ball in a downward motion across the volleyball net to the other team side of the court. When done well, spiking is very difficult to return, which is why it's an essential skill. Blocking. It is another important skill, although it's probably the most expendable of the fundamentals. Still, it adds a great dimensions to the game, keeping the other team on their toes, so to speak. Digging. It is a defensive maneuver in volleyball that can save the team from an offensive spike or attack. The job is to keep the ball from hitting the floor, and to that by diving and passing the ball fluid motion. Serving. Serving is the act of putting the ball in play by a player. Sounds simple, but actually, it is described as one of the most important plays in the game of volleyball. Basic rules in playing volleyball. There are 6 players on the floor at any one time, 3 in the front row and 3 in the back row. Maximum of 3 hits per side. Points are made on every serve for winning team of rally. Rally point scoring. Players may not hit the ball twice in succession. A block is not considered a hit. A ball hitting a boundary line is in. It is legal to contact the ball with any parts of a player's body. It is legal to catch, hold, or throw the ball.
In this video, you're going to learn how to avoid committing a foul when playing volleyball. In volleyball, there are 2 types of rule violations to avoid: playing violations and technical violations. Firstly, the playing violations. Hitting the ball into or under the net. Outside the antennae. And beyond the boundaries of the opponent's court are all playing violations. Therefore, make sure that the ball passes over the net, even if it touches it, and between the antennae. Make sure that it lands within the boundaries of the opponent's court. It is against the rules for a player to hit the ball 2 times in a row, and for the team to hit the ball more than 3 times. Therefore, make sure you never hit the ball more than once, and be careful to count the number of times the ball has been hit by your team. Take note that making a block does not count as a touch. Finally, it is a playing violation for the ball to touch the ground on your side of the court. Organize yourselves as a team in order to defend, take control of the ball, and return it with a spike. Secondly, technical rule violations. You must respect rotational positions if you don't want to be penalized with a technical foul. To avoid this type of violation, don't forget to rotate each time you serve. Move 1 position clockwise so that your team adopts their new positions on the court. When serving, your foot must neither touch the line nor your side of the court if you haven't yet hit the ball. To serve properly, your foot must not touch your side of the court. When attacking or defending, you must not touch the net, and your foot must never fully touch the opponent's side of the court. Finally, carrying or holding the ball or having prolonged contact with the ball is a technical foul. When you pass the ball, carry out a bump pass, or an attack, your contact with the ball must be forceful and brief. Over to you.
A volleyball court is 18 meters long and 9 meters wide, with a net that stretches from one side of the court to the other. In a volleyball game, there are 12 players on the court. 6 players from each team are on both sides of the court. 3 players are at the net and the other 3 are at the back of the court. The player who serves the ball to the opposing team is at the back right corner. When serving, the player is behind the end line and must serve the ball over the net to the other team. If the ball does not go over the net, or they step over the end line, the other team has possession of the ball. As the ball goes over the net, the team receiving the ball may only touch the ball 3 times before it goes over the net. Let's say this team spikes the ball and the opposing team misses. The team gets possession of the ball again, but the players rotate clockwise. The player served last time moves to their left, and the player who was the opposite hitter moves down and they serve the ball. In order for a team to get a point, the opposite team either doesn't get the ball over the net, or the ball comes in contact with the floor on their side, or they hit the ball and it lands outside the court.